So this week's video is going to be interesting. I'm going to be talking about studying and the jump between kind of secondary school studying and what it's like at uni. So obviously I'll be speaking from a qualitative point of view. I do a very literate subject, history and international relations, essays galore. So my studying and my university life itself is completely different from someone doing a quantitative subject like economics. I came to university, I came to LSE specifically because the history I wanted to study, I never got to study before. Yes, right now I'll be studying stuff, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cold War, that kind of classic World War One, World War Two education. But beyond that, I'm now looking at Africa. I'm looking at Rwanda and Nkrumah. I'm looking at Gandhi in India. I'm looking at all sorts, really, from the other side of the spectrum. And that is really cool. I know that sounds like I'm really nerdy, but it's really interesting to just read about all this stuff I've always been interested in. But, it's never been on the syllabus in secondary school. And in the same vein, international relations, I've never done anything like government political studies, anything philosophical. So I've not really had an exposure to political science and how to think about that, how to structure arguments in a politically scientific way. And so that's probably one of the biggest challenges I'm facing at the moment, is adapting to that different way of thinking. Obviously at secondary school you had teachers who would be completely guiding you, and textbooks as well. Oh, I miss textbooks. They would just explain what you needed to know, and you just revise straight from that. And it's different here. You go to, it's split into lectures and classes, as I've said in other videos. So you've got the lectures, which kind of go over the basics. The lecturer will then go through maybe some of the main historiography, some of the points of view, some of the main events, kind of giving you a timeline of what's going on. But he doesn't really go on beyond that. And for a history student, what we then have to go away and do is all the reading. So we'll have a set reading list of what we need to go through. And then, you read all of those before your classes. I think it's safe to say about 75% of my time is probably spent doing readings, if not more. And at your classes, you just have general discussions about the readings. Obviously, the teachers guide in some way, towards making sure you get the right ideas out of it. But yeah, it's just completely different, really. I love all the reading. But yeah, it is a lot, and there is a lot of free time. So I think one of the first things you have to do when you get to university is really learn how to manage your time effectively. That's another thing that you have to kind of focus on as well, is how you read, if that makes sense. At secondary school, the textbooks you would read from and the notes you'd get in class, they'd all be pretty much ready to go. You could copy straight out of the textbook and then copy it for the exam almost. But for university, you get given the text. You're actually seeing the journal articles. I'm coming across really nerdy in this video, but we're actually seeing the journal articles that they propose these ideas in, and you're taking that information, distilling it for yourself, and then applying it later on. It's obviously about being able to see the arguments that people are putting forward, deem what's important and what's not, and just make a concise set of notes, really. And the teachers are really helpful in the sense that, I can go to office hours and discuss any of the subjects that I kind of don't really get. On the whole, I think LSE has been really good to me in terms of what it's offered through the education. And so, while at times essays might get the better of me and make me a bit stressed, I don't think I'd change any of it for the world, really. I'm just having a really good time.